And then Nicole reached out to me and she was like, we would love to interview you.
But the diaper? Wasn't there?
That was me.
Hey foodies, it's me, Sharon, and welcome back to another episode of Chewing the Fat, where I sit down for some good food and even better conversation. Today I've traveled to Long Beach for some good old-fashioned soul food and sit down and chat with Chef Ash from People vs. Food. Today our host is George's. We've got some good food ordered up, so me and my backpacker here, let's go check it out. George's has been serving up amazing food since 1991, and it's so good they now have 2 locations. I gotta be honest, this is the first time I've ever been in a soul food place, so I don't really know what to expect. The good thing is Gretchen Shoemaker says, if you're gonna have good soul food, it's because it's been cooked from the heart and the soul. I'm in!
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be able to sit down and chat with you and have some good food.
There have been so many people that have said, you gotta get Chef Ash. How long have you been to People vs. Food? I forget.
I started in November of 2021.
I remember your first shoot.
Yeah.
You were so nice and quiet, and I was like, I don't think that's her true self.
Yeah, I definitely have come out of a shell a little bit. Some good cornbread.
That's good cornbread. It's so moist.
Butter with it's really good. It's very homey feeling. Have you ever had soul food before?
Never.
This is a Sharon Fredrickson first then. Wow. Well, I'm so happy to be with you as you experience your first journey into soul food.
Well, thank you very much, Chef Ash. I really appreciate that. I'm just gonna call you Ash now.
That's perfect.
You are Chef Ash, and you're a producer on People vs. Food. Are you a producer who cooks, or are you a cook who produces?
I would say at this moment in my career, I feel like I am a producer who cooks.
Oh, okay.
I did not go to culinary school, so even calling me Chef Ash, using that title chef, to me feels a little unearned.
Really?
A little bit. I mean, it's a little bit of imposter syndrome.
I'm really surprised by that.
I grew up cooking with my dad. He's taught me so much. From then, since moving out, I've really kind of ventured into my own food journey, but I still have so much to learn. That's why I don't feel like I don't call myself a chef who produces, but at my core heart, I feel like I am a person who loves food but produces.
I am so shocked that you did not go to school, because the stuff that you create is incredible.
Yeah, well, it's definitely a combination of we source recipes online and then kind of rejigger them to kind of fit our needs. So a lot of times we are just taking things as a reference and kind of making them our own.
What did you get?
I have lemon pepper chicken wings.
I have fried green tomatoes. You know, I don't even like tomatoes.
I know. I was shocked when you ordered those.
Well, you gotta try fried green tomatoes. I read that book 3 times and watched that movie a million times.
Yeah. Oh man, these wings are so juicy. How they are?
That is so good.
Yeah?
I would order that. I'm just cutting you a piece.
Please, I would love to try it.
Is that so good?
I love the breading on that.
Now, we have a lot of food coming out, so I have a little gift for you. Look at that.
My own shareware?
Your own shareware, baby.
Thank you so much. You are so generous.
You are so welcome.
You know, I have made you so much food that you have brought home and taken to your wife. Now I get to bring this food home and take it to my husband.
There you go.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that.
So how did you get to be Chef Ash then?
I think what helped is, what a lot of people don't realize is, even though I am the one cooking everything, I also am a producer. So
Right.
I have done creative producing in the past. When I was in graduate school, I made a culinary docuseries. I was testing a method of production.
Okay.
So in my lens through that was I made a culinary docuseries. And so when I applied to People vs. Food, that was kind of my main portfolio piece. And I think Nicole saw that, and the people that were hiring me saw that, and saw that this girl gets it. This girl gets production, she gets food, she's creative. I also, in addition to the culinary producing, I'm also the one that builds all the props. There's a lot of things behind the scene that are not just food related that I can do that they were looking for someone in my position.
I will say that is something that has leveled up. What's your favorite prop?
We did an episode all about My Little Pony food.
We are giddy on upping to Equestria for a super magical brownies. Try not to eat My Little Pony.
The prize, the scene was at some gala, and one of the ponies, her name's Applejack, and she had this big stand, think of a carnival booth, and I built that.
For our winners, we've got a lovely variety of dishes from Applejack's family farm, including apple pie, apple cider, apple cupcakes, and so much more.
I built it on like a tabletop version of it. I went to Lowe's, I bought lumber, I bought screws, and I built the thing. And I thought it was so much fun. And the guys that were in it were just like, what the heck? So that was a really fun one for me to build.
That's cool.
That's something I also learned from my dad was craftsmanship. So he taught me how to do that.
I have never had a po' boy.
Oh, really? You got the shrimp one, which the shrimp po' boy, man, it's another world.
Really?
Yeah, I love a good shrimp po' boy.
And you got the...
I got fried catfish.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Can I admit something to you?
Yeah.
I usually take tomatoes off too.
Do you really?
I do.
That is so funny.
Well, you know, that was just a little fun fact for myself. And now that you've treated me to this wonderful food, I'll share it with you.
Chef Ash hates tomatoes.
I didn't say hate.
Well, that's what we're going
with.
with. Where are you from initially?
I am from Indiana.
See, you were like me. You were hanging out a lot with your dad.
My parents split up when I was 7, so it was equal times. 1 week with my mom, 1 week with my dad. And my dad just, when I was a kid, of course, I was like, oh, can I just go watch TV, please?
Sure.
And he's like, no, help me in the garage. But now, and then there was several years ago when I had graduated from college, I spent a summer fixing up our house with him. So I learned drywall repair, I learned all this kind of crap that I didn't think I don't really need now, but apparently I do when I make props. Something that really made me realize, wow, I'm really glad I learned all these skills when I was moving out of my last place. I didn't realize in my lease it said no holes in the wall.
Oh, see?
And I was like, crap. So drywall repair, and they were none the wiser.
I have a tri-tip sandwich, and what do you have?
I have a crispy chicken sandwich, a spicy crispy chicken sandwich.
Oh, yeah, I can't
I'm a
try
sucker
that.
for spicy crispy chicken sandwiches.
And then we have chili mac.
Chili mac.
As a side.
I love when they put stuff in mac and cheese.
Do you like tri-tip sandwiches?
I've never had it. I moved out here only about a year and a half ago.
That half is yours.
Tri-tip is such a big thing out here in California. I've never heard of it. Or in Indiana, that was never a thing. And my uncle, who lives in Santa Clarita, was like, you have to get a tri-tip sandwich at some point. And I just haven't, so this is the perfect opportunity.
This is Chef Ash's first tri-tip sandwich.
I know. Can you believe that?
It's gonna be a good... I really am afraid of you to eat this. It's setting the bar high. Right?
Oh my god, that's so good.
Yeah, that is darn tasty.
That's delicious.
We have seen you recreate food from HBO shows, and I feel like those are gonna have recipes. But the one that trips me out is when you recreate anime food. What do you find more difficult, anime or regular foods?
I think foods from TV shows, especially cartoons, is more challenging. But I think anime is more intimidating. The fans of anime shows are so intense, which is great. I mean, they absolutely should be. These shows are fantastic. But if something looks off or does not look right, they're coming for me. They are coming for me. Whereas someone that might be a fan of a Cartoon Network show, I'm not as bothered by that.
Right.
You know?
You're not gonna have a Scooby-Doo fan coming at you.
Well, and another thing is, I don't want to be culturally insensitive by making a Japanese dish completely wrong. It is in general difficult just recreating, especially when there's something hyper specific, because we're doing it all on a budget. We do not have an unlimited budget, where I feel like a lot of our audience thinks that we do.
Okay, we gotta try this real quick too. This is called a Hoppin' John.
Yeah.
What's in a Hoppin' John, Laura?
Hoppin' John, slow simmered black-eyed peas, bone smoked turkey neck.
Oh, that turkey is so good.
That's
very
really
nice
good.
And hearty.
I got a plate of fried chicken with grits that I've never had and greens.
Collard greens?
Collard greens. I've never had those either.
Wow. That's soul food right there. I got grilled tilapia with a nice mango, citrus, cilantro kind of salsa on top, and Cajun rice and coleslaw.
So they told me I'm to put butter and sugar.
Yep. Some places, especially in the South, do cheese
Oh.
and or salt and pepper. I know there's kind of a big dialogue debate about the proper way to eat grits.
Of all the stuff that you've recreated, what's the one that you're most proud of?
It's hard to pick just one because there's at least 800 foods that I've created
That's
or been
a
a
lot.
part of. So
That is a lot.
But when I really think back, I would show someone the Try Not to Eat Cannibal episode.
Clarice.
That was during a week where me and my kitchen team had about 5 other episodes that we had to work on, but I was solely and fully responsible for everything in the Hannibal episode. I did all of the food, I did all of the plating, And I just thought everything looked so cool.
Ed was so creepy.
He was very creepy.
Looks absolutely delightful.
You are a creep right now.
I don't typically, this is another weird food thing. I don't like mushy foods. I will not eat mashed potatoes.
Really?
I've tried so hard to enjoy mashed potatoes, but I just don't. And I can't.
Yeah.
Unless they're chunkier. But that is, the taste of that really outweighs the mush for me. Is there a food that I've made that has stood out to you?
Willy Wonka, chocolate factory.
Oh, yeah.
Tim Burton. Because it was such a good combination of the props and the foods.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, the shrimp ham that I made.
This shrimp cocktail has been possessed with deliciousness.
That was another
That's
thing
brilliant.
where craftsmanship, my knowledge of craftsmanship, having that knowledge in order to build that prop, and I mean, it's a weird looking thing, but it was so fun in the episode. I think it played so well.
I think it played great. I loved Pee-wee's Big Adventure. So being able to have that breakfast come out was really cool.
What? Sorry.
Pee-wee's fired up the breakfast machine for a hearty feast of pancakes and toast bacon and eggs with a sprinkle of Mr. T's cereal and, of course, a freshly squeezed cup of OJ.
It's always really fun when I make something, like, I know Ed during the Food Wars episode was crying. Like, Ed was so just excited about the food. It's such a nice feeling when people like come find me after they shoot their episode and they're like, thank you so much for this. There are times where people have come and found me and said, this has been so much fun and this has been like just the best day ever, and that's just such a good feeling.
I think that's part of what viewers like so much is they like these shows. And then to be able to sit down and watch people they follow have these foods that are recreated. And knowing now that you have that background of working with your dad and working with your hands and doing that stuff, it totally makes sense on how it ties together.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you have a piece of fried.
Oh, okay, cool.
Have a piece of that fried chicken.
That's really good fried chicken.
Right? How do they get it so it's so crispy, but it's like perfect on the inside? I got gumbo.
Wow, yum. I love gumbo.
Never had gumbo.
Really?
I've never had gumbo before.
Wow. I love like a Cajun chicken pasta. What are your thoughts?
It's a little spicy,
Okay.
but it's not overwhelmingly spicy.
It's got a kick.
It's got a kick.
Yeah.
It probably wouldn't have a kick to the average person. We got to talk about those dumb punishment foods, man. I've eaten a lot of your punishment foods. There are some shows that, because I'm so familiar with, I assume what the punishment, like when we did the SNL, as soon as I found out we were doing SNL, I knew what the punishment food was going to be.
Now adjust the control dial so that bass is blended just the way you like it.
Do you come up with those on your own?
Usually before we go into a shoot, I chat with Nicole about all the foods that we're going to do and typically how are we going to do it. But with punishments, that's one where she's really just like, this might be good, but also kind of just do whatever you want. So it is a lot of me coming up with how I want to do this.
So you are really the one I can blame.
Yeah. You can. That's fine. It's usually people saying, Nicole, why'd you do this to us? And I'm just like, ha ha ha, it was really me in the kitchen.
I kind of suspected.
I have come a little nose blind to it, but then there are some times where I get whiffs where I'm like, oh no, I'm so sorry, reactors, that I'm doing this to you.
Was delicious your idea?
No, that was Nicole. That was Nicole before I was ever hired.
Okay.
Yeah, that was all her.
But the diaper? Wasn't there?
That was me. But I said this in the producer versus reactor, prize versus punishment roulette. That's my favorite punishment because I just think it's so freaking funny.
It really was kind of funny.
Certified fresh, it's one of Stewie's diapers with doo-doo.
There's so much durian.
There is a prize, and this might ring a bell for you. There is a prize that I feel really bad about.
Oh, I already know which one it is.
I feel worse about the prize than I do the punishment. It was the try not to eat Hulu episode.
Yep.
And I was really excited to do the great for the prize and punishment because I was like, I think that's such a fun idea. We're like, it's the same exact scene, but just different foods. But Sharon, I had no idea that babies, like baby animals, was a no thing for you.
That's a no thing. I can't do baby animals.
I had absolutely no idea.
Sure.
And when I was producing that episode and you had that reaction, I was just in the producer chair, like, I feel so
I know.
bad.
Oh, that's a little sad for me. Because, like, that's a newborn.
And I felt bad for you for feeling bad.
No.
Because then you even texted me that night and said something.
Yeah, I did.
But I was like, you were doing, it was so perfect. Like to step outside of myself and look at what you had done. It was brilliant. What's your go-to cooking food?
I love just a homemade pizza. That's something I've been working on since I was probably in high school, college. That's something that I did with my dad every weekend night, basically. And I've kind of carried that on to my household with my husband. Usually making pizza means that I have the time and the energy, and we have a good amount of time together. So it's a really nice kind of intimate thing we get to share.
Yeah.
Whenever I make my pizza, we listen to Italian music.
Oh, how
and
fun.
It's a really nice moment I get to have with him that I feel like I don't get to have a lot because we both just are crazy busy with work.
Right.
Yeah, so.
All right, we've hit dessert. I've got a peach cobbler.
I have lemon cake.
Ooh. Cheers.
Cheers.
That's the best peach cobbler I've ever had.
I love cake and ice cream together.
Dessert leads me to my very last question that I always ask.
Oh no.
Think about career, life, everything, and tell me a high-low what the heck moment.
Oh my gosh, what a question. I think my high was getting this job at People vs. Food. I applied to this job when I still lived in Indiana. I didn't hear anything for a month and a half, and then Nicole reached out to me, and she was like, we would love to interview you. I had 3 interviews in a week, and then I got the job. And I was like, I was not expecting this at all. It's the second job I ever applied for in LA, and I got it. And I'm like, wow, this is insane. Like, it gave me a lot of hope for moving out here where I had so many reservations. It made me feel so much better about everything.
It's so cool to come in. You're always so up and pleasant and bubbly and you're frantic, but you're still like, hey, like you could tell you like what you're doing, you know?
Yeah.
So it's cool. All right, what's a low?
When I was in college, I was like dead set on trying to get an internship at Discovery Channel / Food Network. And I applied for it a couple times. I had a couple interviews, and I didn't hear anything for like 2 months. Throughout this time, I had a cell phone that it was broken. It got to a point where I was like, okay, I just need to like send this in and get it fixed. And I didn't have my phone for 2 weeks. I get it back after 2 weeks. I have a phone call and a voicemail from Discovery Channel. They're like, we would love to chat with you. Please give us a call back.
Oh my gosh.
It was 2 weeks later, and I called them back right away, and I was like, I'm so sorry, I missed this. Like, I'm so interested. Nothing.
Oh, no.
I mean, I think it got me to where I am here today.
Well,
so
sure. I mean,
that's my positive outlook, but also I'm still kind of like, damn it. So
and then, what the heck moment?
A what the heck moment, I had one last year where my husband just has like a side gig. He doesn't do it very much, but he will do video for people's weddings.
Oh, okay.
For people that we know. And he was doing one, this was like 2 years ago, and he was doing one, and he met someone that he hadn't seen since 6th grade.
Oh, wow.
And she's like, Jacob, it's so good to see you. I'm getting married next year in Italy. Like, would you want to come do our wedding for us? And she was like, doesn't your wife also do production stuff? And he was like, yeah. And she was like, why don't you have her come too? So I went to Italy last year for a month. It was fully paid for.
Oh my gosh.
And they put us up in this beautiful villa in Florence, or in Tuscany. Everything was paid for. They loved all the pictures and video. And I was like, this is my dream.
It's a really good what the heck.
That happened exactly a year ago today.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I can't thank you enough again for coming out and doing this with us.
Absolutely.
Means the world. It was so fun getting to know more about you. And I know you guys enjoyed getting to know more about Chef Ash. Thank you, Georgia's in Long Beach for hosting us. The food here, out of this world. It was so good. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you, Ash. As always, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell so you never miss an episode. And I will see you next Tuesday.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, gosh, this is so good.
I'm going to be thinking about this day.